What's up guys, Jay Jones here with Eat to Fight, and today I'm talking about some of the most absurd things that I see fighters doing in the final weeks preparing for a fight, competition, or whatever it may be. This is a vulnerable time for an athlete. It's usually when we're training the hardest, and athletes, especially jiu-jitsu athletes, are not a stranger to hard work. They're always going to put their mind to it and see it through, and sometimes that's not the most smartest things. A lot of times we can be very, like I said, vulnerable to gurus or experts that have this information, and it may be something that's not helping you, or maybe the opposite, where you just think my body's special, or maybe you've figured it out over time, and really what you're doing is causing damage that is not going to give you very much longevity in the sport. We always got to remember, just because you did it this time doesn't mean you should do it every time, right? And so that's what we're going to talk about. But first off, why weight classes? Why do we cut weight? Well, it's because of the weight classes, right? We've decided to be a part of a sport that has weight classes in order to make it fair. The problem is, as soon as we're faced with the decision, sometimes our judgment is impaired a little bit. Should we go down? Should we go up? Is there advantages of either? When I always take the chair, and I always will, that we should be within 5 to 10% of our weight and our performance of all times if we really want to live the jiu-jitsu lifestyle. There is really no season, in season, off season to being able to protect yourself or fight someone. You should just be able to do it at all times. Of course, when we're taking competition seriously and we want to peak for that, we can't hold that condition, that peak of nutrition and everything year round, but we can stay within a 5 to 10% buffer there, and that's just by having good habits and living the lifestyle. So as soon as we have a decision like, should I go down or should I go up, we've already decided that we're going to compromise something. Are we going to compromise strength? Are we going to compromise cardio? Are we going to compromise our energy, our nutrition? And then we're going to have the hopes that we'll come out with some advantage. But it never really works out that way. The only hope would be that I can cut weight and get back to at least 85 to 90% of my performance, and that the other guy does it too, so that we can have the same battle. But if we would have just had the right lifestyle, we would have signed up at the right weight class, and then we wouldn't have had to do all those things, and we would have been equal, which is why there's weight classes in the first place. So the first problem that we have with weight classes is us as humans trying to get an advantage over doing so, when the whole reason is just to level the playing field. Okay, now getting into those final 2 weeks, what are these absurd things that I see? Well, your training should be going hard. It should have always been going hard. Maybe the last week, people have different ways of doing it, of tapering off or taking an easy week or whatever. I'm not here to discuss that, but we can all agree that in the last 2 weeks of training, it's usually pretty harder than normal, right? Whether it's mental or physical. And then you have the aspect of, oh crap, I need to cut weight now. So if you weren't already on top of the cutting weight, then the first thing that a person would decide to do is to clean up their diet. Now, again, that can mean a million different things. To me, when I say to someone, clean up your diet, it means take out the things you're not supposed to have. The guilty pleasures that you're not supposed to be having regularly would be like sweets, processed foods, alcohol, and just anything overall that's bad for you. It's excessive in calories, right? So no going out and eating pizza, cut back on the candy bars, beers at night, all those things that are guilty pleasures, you take them out. That's cleaning up the diet. Well, if you already were living that kind of lifestyle, a little cleaner, the more cleaner your diet is, the more healthy calories that we can be squeezing in there to get more protein, carbohydrates, vegetables, fats, micronutrients, all that stuff. So again, it's finding a balance, right? So we're getting into this final 2 weeks. Somebody cuts out their diet, and I don't know why, but everybody in the world thinks that chicken and broccoli is the best diet in the world. This is super popular in freaking jiu-jitsu. I don't know if we just all read bodybuilding magazines from the 90s and decided that that's the way to go, but even the bodybuilders know that chicken and broccoli is not the sufficient macronutrient profile meal that you need for sustaining life, more or less trying to go out and perform, defend yourself, or kick some ass, or whatever you're trying to do, right? So chicken and broccoli is not the way, all right? You got to have sufficient amount of calories. And I guess there's such a phobia still out there on carbohydrates that's the thing that people always cut out. They take the bread off their sandwiches, off their hamburgers, they cut the rice, they cut any kind of grains that they're using, any flour product, any grains at all, they're cutting that out. And then carbohydrates, cutting that out. Well, that's what provides your body with glucose. Glucose being the most important thing that you can have for energy. You have to have glucose in order to create ATP. That's that short burst amount of energy that we use so much in jiu-jitsu. So now you're training harder than normal to get ready for your fight, and you're depleting yourself. So you're depleting yourself of glucose in the hard training, and you're depleting yourself in the amount of carbs that you put in. Well, now we're gonna have a glucose depletion problem, okay? And guess what? It works. You lose weight. Let's talk about why. You can store up to 15 grams of glucose per kilogram of body weight. So I did some math. I'm about 88 kilograms. So 15 times 88, I think it was 1,320. Okay, that's how many grams of glucose I can have in my body, right? I'm a leaner, stronger person, so maybe I have a little bit more than that, right? If you were a 190-pound person with more fat and less muscle, you wouldn't store as much glucose because you don't have as much muscle, okay? So fat doesn't store glucose, right? So anyways, I got about 1,320 grams of glucose in me at all times if I'm eating the way that I should eat, right? Putting that back into my body. If you times that by 4, that's 4 calories. It comes out to, don't check me on my math, I think it was 5,600 calories, or maybe it's 4,800. I can't remember. It's somewhere around there of calories. Okay. And then I know if I'm eating, let's make easy math, 2,500 calories a day, and 40% of that comes from carbohydrates, that means I need 1,000 calories every day from carbohydrates. Okay, so all of that, what am I getting to? If I'm burning that many and I took all that out, it's gonna last about 2 to 3 days before I am severely out or deficit in that glucose in my body. There's gonna be no more glucose, no more carbohydrates in my body. My muscle's not storing any, okay? Yay, I lost 3 to 4 pounds, but now I have zero energy. I am fatiguing extremely fast. I can create no ATP, so my strength and my explosive power, everything is gone out the window, okay? This usually happens 2 weeks out. But I lost 3 to 5 pounds. So I'm like, hey, I lost weight. I'm a fighter. I can push through it. I'll be fine. So I keep doing my cardio. I keep doing stuff. But coach, I'm stuck. I'm plateaued. That's what always happens at this time, right? Coach looks at your calories. Okay, well, we got to eat less. Well, you're not eating enough. You're already not eating enough. And then you say, well, we got to eat less. Oh, shit. What do you think's going to happen? You're just going to get more tired and you're not going to lose more weight. Or if you do, it's going to start tapping into your muscles. You're going to start basically going down the road of depleting yourself until you either get sick or you get injured, which both of those things happen around this time because of these deals, right? Okay, so now we're 5-6 days out. We're less than 7 days out. Coach, I'm stuck. I still have 4 pounds. What do we start doing? Well, the easiest next thing to get weight off of you is water, right? So they start getting rid of water. But here's the problem. Just like the glucose that you need for energy, water you need for life. You need it in your body. Yeah, you're holding a whole lot of water in your muscles, in your skin, in your cells, in your organs, in your brain, everywhere, and you need it, right? As much as 2% of dehydration, you can already start having cognitive problems. Anything after that, you can start having muscle cramping, and of course, it just gets worse from there until eventually death in as little as 10% of your body weight, you're already in a severely dehydrated and dangerous zone, okay? So this is why I always say, keep it within that 5%, right? So here's what happens in this scenario. The athlete that's already depleted, they're already tired, they're already not eating enough, and now maybe they're either drinking tons of water for 3 days in order to pee more, which flushes out all amounts of sodium, right? Now they don't even have the ability to retain water, okay? And then that last 2 to 3 days, they just quit drinking water completely. They're sitting in a sauna, they're wearing plastics to training, they're doing the most worthless training you've ever seen in just order to move and sweat, right? We've all seen geese with hoodies, turn the fan off. All that is retarded, okay? It is not going to help your performance at all. Yeah, it's making you weigh less, and it's slowly killing you. So those are the two absurd things that I see, is depleting your body of glucose and of water. You need both of those. And at the absolute most, you're going to lose 5 pounds of glucose, 5 to 10 pounds of water. When if you just would have taken the lifestyle and prepared yourself 3 months out instead of 6 months out, and was able to lose 10 to 15 pounds of fat and be stronger and feel better and already have a good diet and have lots of energy and ATP while you're training, so that you could be better in training, so that you can be the best and win your competition, or go up a weight class. If you're not taking that serious the rest of the year, don't think you're going to get it all done in 6 weeks. Go up a weight class and fight guys your size. And if you feel outsized, it's because you're too fat and you need a better lifestyle. All right, guys, that's all I got today. Jay Jones, Eat to Fight. Talk to y'all later.